Hello, my name is Elizabeth from Kerin School of Healing, and if you're in this event, it's because you agree that it's time to drop the trauma patterns from your life. You've probably experienced traumas or errors or dissonance or resistance returning in your life again and again. You've noticed it as karmic patterns, and you have a feeling, a nudge, a niggling that it is possible for you to just end those cycles and get rid of them altogether. It is, and I want to show you a model of human consciousness which gives you a description for how it works and why it works. So, here's my pad, and here's my crayon. We now agree as general people that in a microcosmic quantum sense, everything is interconnected in a realm of essence. So if we look into the subatomic microcosm, we can see that all things are smaller than energy even, they are like strings. This field is like a field of isness. This is what Albert Einstein called the unified field. Some people call it God, some people call it isness. It doesn't really matter what you call it, and its exact nature is a complete mystery. Well, it's a field of essence of all matter, but it is also a field of knowing or a field of consciousness. And so that can condense and become laser focused, just like a raindrop in a rain cloud is a condensation of the essence of the rain cloud. It's not separate, it's the same substance and the same source. In the same sort of a way, this field of knowing condenses into an individualized expression. This plant is bullying me. Into an individualized expression like this. The aspect of this isness that moves is called essence. Some people know it better as chi or prana or word or Holy Spirit. And there may be millions of other words for it. It is the aspect of that allness that condenses to become you. It condenses into your unique perspective a little bit like a diamond. You see, human consciousness, so this is you right here. This is your unique perspective. You see, human consciousness is by its nature sort of fragmented or fractured. It doesn't mean broken, needing to be fixed, but it means it's a bit like a prism in that it takes the fullness, the uniqueness, the whole unbroken aspect of what is and breaks it, just like a prism breaks sunlight into a rainbow. So now we have variety. So if all of this is perfection, then what is broken is into a variety of flavor. So we have value now. We have good and we have very, very bad, and we have everything in between. And our stories about how we engage with that variety, those become paradigm. Those are passed down through intergenerations, and they're also taken with us through our stories through life. New traumas confirm old ones, and so we end up in these cycles. Those stories are held in our genetic consciousness. That is a genius evolutionary trait which prevents species from having to learn the same lessons of previous generations. You can imagine, I like to tell the story of the frogs in the swamp. They know not to go down to the pond in the springtime because the herons are mating, but they don't all have to learn that lesson because there's a genetic imprint into the DNA from generations past. The same thing goes for us. So the trauma codes that you're carrying are actually trauma codes that previous generations, they learnt those lessons and passed them down in the blood. The thing is that this then is the genetic consciousness. This is your DNA, really, you could say, which is the gateway, the interface between what is unformed and what then becomes formed. And it projects as energy through your biofield, which is your cellular vibration. And what happens is it projects like so. Hang on. Can you see that? It projects like so as energy, as an energetic output through you. So this is your vibration that you bring to life. And what happens is, by the law of attraction and many other cosmic laws of creation, life scurries to form itself around those paradigms. So we're familiar with the law of attraction. We know that what we put out is very similar to what we get back in. And what some of the error is in modern law of attraction teachings is that you can just change your thoughts or change your feelings and then change reality. But the truth is that you are so interwoven with life. So the life that you lead carries so many of the paradigms and triggers that go back to your intergenerational karma, or the intergenerational paradigm that is passed down. And so what happens then is that we can spend lifetimes trying to clean up this mess. We spend years in therapy, we spend years on medications, we spend years as spiritual seekers, looking out here for the truth of what is. Even energy healers and energy therapists will spend years balancing the chakras, balancing the energy fields of the organs. And you can create a lot of relief. You can create a lot of comfort. And in there can be space for amazing grace and transformation. But truly sovereign, truly masterful people know that to effect any real, permanent, lasting transformation in life, you must go to the consciousness. You must go to the storytelling aspect of you, which is inside the DNA. There's a very real physiological, chemical link between the triggers in the outside world and the emotional patterns and thought patterns that you then engage with. And that's why it's so difficult to use willpower alone or discipline alone to affect lasting change, because those traumas are data written in your consciousness. The data informs the software, and the software informs the hardware. And that's why life looks like a repeating pattern, a repeating cycle of what's going on in consciousness. You can think of it a little bit like a cathedral window. So if you go into a beautiful church, a holy sanctuary like your mind, then the sun on one side of the window is this pure, beautiful source of light, of creative energy, creative essence. And it flows through the window. The window is full of all the stories. I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy of my success, or I haven't suffered enough to be noble, or whatever. All the facts that we've chosen about this variety of life. The sun shines through the window with all its stories, and then it takes on the color and texture of those stories and projects it down onto the cathedral floor. The essence is unbroken and pure and whole and needs no fixing whatsoever, but it will continue forever to take on the stories in the window. So what we need to do is we need to establish a link between the triggers in the environment, between the energy fields of emotion, feeling, and thought, and between the molecular world, which is where those codes are encrypted. What we do is we create that link between them using a logic tool that unravels automatic negative thought, and then we direct energy medicine directly into this link. And that essentially switches on all of the aspects in the control panel that are governed by those traumas and heals the lot in one go. This is like pushing down the first domino in an intricate network of dominoes, instead of trying to heal them one by one, by one, by one, by one, by one, by one. So that's why the rapid trauma release technique works, because it is an integration of different methods from different schools of thought that heal both in the mental realm and the emotional realm, and of course in the molecular world as well. I can't wait to see you in Stockholm to teach you exactly how this method works and how you can use it at home and how you can take it on with you, as traumas can be revealed on deeper and deeper levels as your mastery is unfolding. However, we will show you how to get to the deepest aspect that is available to you at this time, how to cross that bridge, and then what to do about permanently dissolving those error codes. This tool has been floated with many industry experts. We've done experiments on it with our students over several years, and we've arrived at a point of perfection, where we are really proud to present to you one of the most powerful leading edge energy techniques for dealing permanently with trauma codes in your life. The early bird pricing ends tomorrow, so I would recommend that you jump on now to get your ticket. We have limited spaces, so now's the time. This is your life's work we're talking about. This is why you came. It's why you're here, is to deal with these cycles and to lean into your life as a sovereign, empowered partner of your own life's experience. So do what you can to be here. It is important, and we promise to take really, really good care of you. That's it. I'm going to be doing a Q&A session on Monday. If you have any questions about the model of human consciousness that I showed you today, or about any specific traumas that you want to deal with, you can absolutely send a private message, and we can start doing some of that work before we see each other in Stockholm. If you're anywhere else in the world and you still want to really get some good training on how to use this tool, don't worry. We're still taking private online clients as well, so we can give you some private training if you can't make it to Stockholm. But if you can make it to Stockholm, be there. This is going to be one incredible opportunity to do some really powerful work together. I love you. Cheers.